Hello and welcome to Bag Only, an inventory-only Ultimate Ironman account on Oldschool Runescape. In this series I will be restricted to my 28 bag slots with no additional storage allowed. This means no containers that I can transfer items into and out of, such as the looting bag or the rune pouch, as well as no death piles or item retrieval services like Zulrah or Vorkath. Along with having no bank, I will also be unable to use the costume room, clue scroll stashes, or any other interface or NPC that allows item storage. The only exceptions will be quests where I have absolutely no other choice. Basically, I will have to lug my gear, supplies, and quest items with me at all times, or risk them despawning on the ground. The ultimate goal here is the quest cape, so with that, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back. Just want to start off by saying thanks for the support on the last episode. It did really well out of nowhere, so really appreciate you guys tuning in wherever you've come from. So now in this episode, as you can see here, we're stood here in our studded with our mitre. We're looking really scuffed. So the goal of today's episode will be upgrading this scuffed PVM gear, and we're going to get a whole bunch of nice upgrades. I'm going to get deep into some Slayer. So first things first, obviously the best thing to do if you want to do Slayer is get a nice weapon, right? So we're going to go do Monkey Madness 1, get that famous D-skim from over there. Picking up the super anti-poison spawn from Castle Wars that we always use whenever we're doing content that involves poison, because why would you ever craft any antidote when you can just pick this up off the ground? I don't understand. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we went over to the Warriors Guild, which we do have unlocked, as you know, because we have more than 65 attack and 65 strength. Just use the food shop over there to buy a whole bunch of nice cheesy potatoes. They do heal 16 each, which is not as much as the Karambwan shop, but they are far more accessible and they have a lot more stock per world. As you can see in the inventory, I've got already a monkey corpse. Just grab this over on Karamja by using a bow near the fairy ring and just picking up a monkey corpse from there. Got the ball of wool from Loverkenge, and I just made a gold bar. I also brought a lockpick along just from the Berthorpe Rogue's Den shop, just because you do have to pick your way out of a monkey jail a couple of times during this quest, so I thought that would probably help us. So with some supplies in hand, I headed over to the Grand Tree just to speak to the king to begin the quest. With the King's Seal, we have to head over to the shipyard on Karamja to see if, what's his name, Gloth or whatever, has been up to some shenanigans making a fleet of evil ships. So the easiest way was just teleport over to Alcarid and then take the glider from there to glide straight over to Karamja. Once there, we pass a speech check at the gate, and then we go inside and we talk to Karanok in the shipyard to find out what's going on. And we take his intel back to the king. I just used the glider that we came here on and just glided back to the Grand Tree, which was kind of convenient, and just went straight back downstairs to talk to the king. Did pick up a medium task on the way while doing these glider things, so that was kind of nice. So with the intel in check, the king decides that we have to go over to Apatol and investigate the monkeys. So what we do is we talk to Dayro, and he takes us into the gnome glider hangar, famously where Wadar is. In here, you do have to do a really big slide puzzle, which would be the worst thing in the world without Runelight. Thank goodness for Runelight, because we can just look at the on-screen arrows and click them. Funnily enough, if you don't have Runelight or you don't know how to do this, then you can pay, I think, 100k to skip this puzzle. So with the puzzle done and the machine recalibrated, we take a glider over to Apatol, but sadly we crash on Crash Island, which seems to happen a lot if you look at all the crash gliders here, so we have to just take a little rowboat across. After we're greeted with a lovely little cutscene of what's going on back at the shipyard, we are finally on the Apatol Island, and it's kind of a spooky place. Everything over here is aggressive to you if you're not a monkey, which kind of sucks because all the creatures also poison you on the way around and they are aggressive. So it's a little bit of a painful run. That's why we needed these super anti-poison. Anyway, when you approach the gate, you get shot by like sleeping arrows and thrown in jail, so it's a good job we have protect range here, otherwise we'll probably die from the missile fire. Anyone who's done this quest knows that the prison section here is really buggy. These gorillas can hit you through the bars, they change their patrol path all the time. It's really strange. I feel like they should go back and give this another look over, but yeah, I had to hop worlds a bunch to get these gorillas into a favourable position so I could actually get out. It took a little while, and you do have to go to jail, I think, 2 or 3 times during this quest, so good job we brought the lockpick though so we could sneak our way through the door. That helped out a little bit. Anyway, we escape the jail and we meet a friendly gnome spy who's just spying next to the king's room, just to find out what the monkeys are up to. Then with his advice, we head off to create a monkey speak amulet, so we're able to understand and speak to the monkeys and see what they're saying. So first things first is we grab some monkey teeth just from this box in this weird room that has an aggressive level 1 spider in here that respawns instantly, that really likes to interrupt you and annoy you. Just one of many fun things during this quest. Random bit of trivia, but once you do complete the Monkey Madness 2 quest that comes after this, the Grandmaster quest, then everything on this island is actually friendly towards you, even if you're not in monkey form. So that'll be really nice to have when we eventually get there. But that's going to be one of the final quests we do on this account, I think. It's going to be really difficult. So we grab an amulet mold and some monkey teeth that we can enchant and put inside the amulet so we can talk to the monkeys because logic. And then at this point we're going to have to go through the monkey dungeon, so we're able to teleport off the island at this point, fill up on supplies, and then head back. So what I opted to do is make sure we had some actual supplies for this quest. I previously planted some ranors. I think the seeds were from winter tart or something, so I still had a few more planted in various patches around the game. Grabbed some snape grass from the hobgoblins, and then just made a few prayer pots just so we'd have some protection prayer refills during the dungeon portion of the quest. So with 2 full 4-dose prayer pots from the hobgoblin snapegrass, I also grabbed an inventory of caramblins, our best accessible food, like I said at the start, just because that extra 2 heal per food I thought was worth hopping worlds and spending a bit of extra time to prepare. With these supplies, I walked back to the Grand Tree. I just wanted to preserve our run bar for the upcoming dungeon, and I just returned to Apatol the same way as before, using Wadar's glider and going via Crash Island. Now, this dungeon is very scary and very long. Sadly, we don't have access to stamina potions, as our run absolutely runs out before getting all the way through this dungeon. I am glad we went better than cakes, though, and we brought a little bit of prayer. Weirdly, I saw quite a few players in and around here training mage, training woodcutting, stuff like that, so that was nice. It felt less lonely while tackling this quest. Anyway, I managed to get to the end. We only ended up using 1 or 2 doses of prayer potion just to top up. On your way through, you do take a lot of unavoidable damage. It's only a little bit. Basically, you step on spikes on the way around, you get poisoned, which you can technically dodge if you look where you're going, but also the cave-ins from the roof periodically damage you for a few points, so you do need to bring food to get through here. So we reached Zunok, the gnome agent, at the end of the dungeon. He's something of a wizard or a shaman, and he's able to turn our gold bar and our monkey dentures into an enchanted monkey bar. And then we can leave again, take this to a furnace with our monkey amulet mold, and then craft the amulet of monkey speak. So we have to once again return to the island in the same way and get intentionally thrown into monkey jail. But once again, we had to get past the stupid janky gorilla guards. Speaking of gorillas blocking you, I did have to go into the basement of this monkey temple. The ladder down is protected by a whole bunch of these gorilla guards, and they're completely solid like the big guys in pest control, so you can't walk past them. So once again, it's kind of a case of just hopping worlds here, trying to find a world where the gorillas are stood in a spot where there's a gap. Strangely enough, it was one of the more difficult parts of this quest. Anyway, we managed to get downstairs, we take our monkey enchanted bar and use it on this super hot fire. Then we just use our ball of wool on that, and we finally have the monkey speak amulet, so we can both interact with and understand the monkeys talking to each other. Next up here, we have to trick a monkey child into giving us his toy talisman. We can use this talisman to turn it into a monkey gree-gree, a magical item that when we hold it, we take on the appearance and capabilities of a monkey. Obviously, we use this to pretend we're a monkey and find out what the apes are up to. So what we have to do is wait for the monkey's aunt to patrol away so she can't see what we're doing, and then we trade this little monkey some bananas and we run off with his favourite toy. Now you can do the drop trick on a normal account here to do this multiple times, just so you're able to make the subsequent gree-grees you need for Recipe for Disaster in one trip instead of going through the dungeon again, but there's no way we could possibly hold like the 3 or 4 additional monkey corpses and 3 or 4 additional talismans on us on our next run through the dungeon. So when it does come to doing saving King Owowogi, we'll just have to come back and do all this again. So what I did is I just went to Ardi Monastery, filled up on our prayer, and I walked back against the Grand Tree just to preserve our run, as we would have to go through the monkey dungeon again. It wasn't too bad the second time around. I wasn't too scared of running through this dungeon because we had already successfully done it before. I knew we could get through with just 1 or 2 sips of prayer potion. We still had a full prayer pot and a half, and a whole inventory of food, so... Anyway, we get to the end and we talk to Zunok, the gnome shaman, and we give him our talisman and the monkey remains, and he's able to combine those into a magic gree-gree that, like I say, we can equip to take on the appearance of a monkey. Next up, to gain the Monkey King's trust, we have to rescue a monkey from Ardi Zoo, so we teleport out, we equip our gree-gree so we appear as a monkey, and then we smuggle one of the monkeys back to Ape Atoll. Interestingly, during this part you can't actually teleport with the monkey in your backpack, so you just have to do a little bit of a walk. We walk from Ardi Zoo just north to the Grand Tree, can't use the spirit trees, then we take the usual glider with Wadar and Deiro over to Crash Island, then take the rowboat back to Ape Atoll, same way as before. It is easier this time around, however, as once we get back to Ape Atoll, we can now equip our brand new monkey gree-gree once again, and we can take on the appearance of a monkey, meaning all the creatures in the jungle are unaggressive, and all the monkeys in town accept us as one of their own, so we don't get thrown into gorilla jail, we just get allowed through the gate, and we can go about our merry business. So, to seek an audience with the king, we first have to get the approval of Kruk, the head of the monkey guard. With his say-so, we're allowed in to see the king. The king requests that we rescue a monkey from outside in the zoo, but obviously we've already done that on the way here. So we turn the monkey in, and he's like, dude, you're definitely one of us, you're one of the good ones. After another cutscene, we find out that Gloff is once again summoning evil demons like he did during the Grand Tree quest, only this time it's a slightly stronger jungle demon that we'll have to face. So we'll need the assistance of some gnome soldiers to take this guy down. Now what you can do is you can run across this bridge here and kind of be out of range of the guy's magic spells, just hide behind a fence so he can't attack you, and then just let the gnomes do damage to him. The only issue with doing this, however, is I don't know if they fixed it, but in the past, if the gnomes got the last hit, then it didn't count as you killed the boss, and you'd have to fight him again, which I didn't want. So what I did eventually end up just doing is just praying mage and just shooting him with a bow, completely negating his magic damage. I made sure that when the dude was close to being dead, I ran in with my DDS and just pulled off a sweet special attack just to KO him, get the kill credit for ourselves. So with the jungle demon dead, we tell the king of our adventures, and that's quest complete. We're given 10,000 coins, 3 diamonds, further access to Ape Atoll, and also we get a bunch of melee XP that we can go upstairs and claim, so I go do that. We're able to choose either 35k in strength and health, I think, or 35k in attack and defense, and then 20k in the other one, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. You get the same amount of XP, it's just slightly differently distributed. So with 35k attack and defense from this quest, we went up 1 attack level, 1 hit points level, 1 defense level. So yeah, really nice to boost our melees there quite easily. But obviously the main reason we did Monkey Madness 1 was to unlock the shop that sells the Dragon Scimitar. So first thing I did was went straight back to Ape Atoll using the glider system, equipped our Monkey Grigri and kept our Monkey Speak amulet on, and then ran inside, just went to the weapons stall and purchased that D-Skim. 100k coins, but the combat stats on it are insane. It's easily the best weapon we can get anywhere right now. So with Monkey Madness 1 out of the way, we technically got all the requirements aside from the cooking level for the Recipe for Disaster subquest where you save the Monkey King. Now the issue with this is it requires 70 cooking, and at this point our cooking was only 54, but I did think that since we'd gone through so much trouble to get the Monkey Speak amulet and the Grigri, that it would make the most sense to try and get our cooking up to 70 immediately to do that subquest while we still had those 2 items in our inventory. Just so I didn't have to go through the rigmarole of getting them again, because it would basically be the same as doing the whole Monkey Madness 1 quest again, if we got rid of these items and went back to do it later. Now up to this point in the account, the Jagex servers have been really bad. If you tried to server hop, it would take 10 to 20 seconds per world hop, so I hadn't really considered the viability of making wines from the RFD chest in Lumbridge at this point. I thought it'd simply be too slow, but on a whim I did want the 70 cooking for RFD, so I did just decide to go try wines and see if they were okay, and for some reason from here on in this account they sort of fixed the world hop speed. I think world hops were taking sort of 4 or 5 seconds each at this point, so it was back to how, you know, the game used to be, but for many months world hops were terrible. So it was kind of fortuitous that it randomly got fixed almost the day in which I tried to do this. So what I did is I just created wines for a while. It was absolutely incredible. I had no idea. It cost almost nothing. Grapes and jugs cost literally coins each, and I got around 90 to 103,000 XP an hour, which is insanity for just world hopping, making wines and then dropping them with no access to a bank or anything else. Obviously the XP an hour kept increasing as our level went up because you fail less wines per inventory. It would be a lot faster on a main obviously because you could just deposit the unfermented wine, have it stacking up, and then at the very end just wait for them all to ferment, whereas every time I made I think 10 wines at a time because I only had about 20 invent spaces, I did have to wait the kind of 10-second fermenting clock each inventory, just because obviously if you drop them on the floor they don't ferment and you don't get the XP for them, so I had to wait for each wine to be finished before hopping and making the next batch. But yeah, the world hops were only about 5 seconds, so I thought I really have to take advantage of this. I just sent it to 70 cooking from 54. There we go, 70 cooking. That wasn't too bad. It was only something like 4 or 5 hours for that. So that's the level, obviously, for Questcape, specifically doing the King Iwawogi part of Recipe for Disaster. Along the way, we've unlocked a bunch of things that we can cook. We can go do monkfish once we've done Swan Song, and probably more importantly, we can do pineapple pizzas. We can buy plain pizzas, obviously, from the Warriors Guild food shop, and we can just buy pineapples from charter guys, so we'll be able to make pineapple pizzas super easily, and then we can take those on our really dangerous excursions, for example through the Underground Pass, and that'll act as a 22 healing food in a single invent space, so that's really cool. And then with that I decided to do all the prep for RFD, made some more prayer pots, got some more food, stuff like that. Then here we are, and then we'll just head into the RFD room, we'll inspect the guy, and it should actually let us start the mini quest now because we do have that 70 cooking. Right, there we go, the quest is a go. Grabbed ourselves some monk's robes just because I thought we'd probably be best having a little bit of prayer bonus, because we would have to melee some snakes. Alright guys, here we are on Ape Atoll. As you can see, we're on the part where we need to go speak to the Monkey King. So what we're going to do, pop our Grigri on, pop our Monkey Speak amulet on. Again, sadly we do have to go through the Monkey Tunnel again anyway, just so we can make the other 3 Grigri variants required for this quest. Before that, however, we do need to kill a couple of monkeys around the city, different varieties, just to get their remains so we can go make those Grigris. And then we'll go to a market stall and buy the talismans, which we'll also need to take. So let's talk to the king, because we're right here. Ask him about his favourite dish. Apparently it's sensitive information, so we have to go to the temple and ask the monkey priests if they know what it is. While we're in here, 2 of the variants of monkey that we do need to kill and collect their remains are in here. These big monkey guards count as the gorilla variant, and then if we go downstairs to the fire room, we can kill one of the zombie monkeys and get some zombie remains, which are the zombie variant. And then finally all we'll need to do is find one of the monkey archers here out in town and just kill one of those. We'll have to find a nice safe spot where we don't get killed by all of them, so maybe we'll head upstairs and look for one that's on his own and just range him or something. Cool, so we head back to Crash Island to get our snake. I think what we'll do though is make the Grigris first. So we'll just head down here, kill one of these lovely zombies. I think we'll kill a small one. I don't think it particularly matters what variety you kill, but don't want to use too much prayer, ideally. But I guess he's already dead thanks to the raw power of the D-skim. Cool, now we're just a monkey again, nothing to see here. We'll just check while we are upstairs if there's access to... What? What just happened? It unequipped my Grigri and then dropped it on the floor by itself. That's crazy. Okay, as soon as we equip this, let's get downstairs before that spider tags us again. What we'll do is run around here, because we do need to kill one of these big gorillas. I'm really worried I'm going to bury these bones. I can see it coming. So let's see how long it takes us to kill a monkey guard with our 60 range and a maple shortbow from Varrock and steel arrows and no range gear. I guess we have a slight bit of range bonus on these gloves. And obviously when we've done this quest, we'll have access to the rune gloves, which will be nice. And then we'll just have 1 RFD mini quest left. But that will require us to do Legends quest first, and then also to complete RFD's final boss fight we will also have to complete Desert Treasure first, so it's still a long way off to fully complete RFD, but we will have access to rune gloves fairly soon. It's certainly nice that we have 4,000 steel arrows that we made, because they really don't get you very far, especially in situations like this where the enemies are kind of tough. Grab our arrows and the bones back. Then once we're nicely out of combat, we'll return to Monkey. But what we're just going to do now is try and find one of these archers, like I say, that's somewhere away from the others, so we don't get piled on. This guy looks like a prime target. Yeah, that's lovely. The D-skim hits so well. As soon as we get that defender as well, we'll be in serious melee town. There we go, there's another monkey down. Right, that's all the monkey bones we need. So with these 3 monkey bones, we can go buy some talismans from, I believe, the magic shop just down here in the monkey market. Drop 2 of the pizzas, trade this guy, buy 3 monkey talismans, lovely jubbly. After this quest we get a nice little bit of agility XP, I think it's 10,000, as well as some cooking XP. Obviously access to the next tier of the RFD chest, which means we can actually buy more grapes and other food items per world hop, which is kind of nice. It's good if we ever do decide to go back and do more cooking, like I say, maybe to get sharks or something. We'll get the rune gloves, but also we'll have access to put a portal to Ape Atoll in our house, which will teleport us over there into the monkey temple where those 3 quest monkeys were, so that's kind of useful as well. For now, it's into the scary monkey dungeon, so like I say, I'm relatively confident. We've bought almost more supplies than last time because we do have this higher healing food and more prayer bonus. Also this time we do have a Grigri, so we shouldn't be attacked by most of the monkeys. It'll just be the traps, the rock falls, the spikes on the ground, things like that should actually end up hurting us, so that's kind of nice. Okay, we'll use our last little bit of run here just to sprint to the end, and here's our lovely friend Zunok. And we can speak to him. We say, yes, we'd like to make a new monkey Grigri, please, and then we very carefully use our remains on him. Then we use a magic monkey talisman on him. Then we speak to him again. There we go, now we have all the talismans. So that's all the quest items we actually need. Let's just show them off. Here's the zombie monkey, it looks really, really cool. I like this one. It even has a zombie walk, which is really nice. The ninja monkey Grigri is always useful. This is the functionally most impressive one, because it does allow you to use the monkey agility course after this quest, because it makes you small and agile enough to fit through the log gap at the start, and obviously use the fairy ring to get to Ape Atoll. And then here's our big monkey. Doesn't make us solid though, like it does those other monkeys, but... Okay, and here we are back on Crash Island. Instead of taking the further boat onto Ape Atoll with this guy, instead we walk further into Crash Island and there's a hole here, a little snake pit. Inside are a bunch of snakes, which are the king's favourite food apparently. So what we need to do is head inside there, just pop our Protect Melee on because we will be fighting a big old snake. But what we are going to do is just kill 2, because don't think we'll have the inventory space to kill 3. Because what we're also going to have to do is go collect however many red bananas and some other special nuts. So every one of these snakes we're going to attempt to cook is going to take 3 inventory spaces. So if we just try with 2, hopefully we won't burn both of those. Right, that's 2 snake corpses, so we'll leave the hole, run away. First thing it wants us to do is to collect the red banana, which is one of the items we'll be stuffing into this snake to create the king's favourite dish. So here's the special red banana tree. This is why you bring a rope during this quest. Use the rope on the tree, we pull it down. Grab ourselves some bananas. There we go. Now we have 2. Make sure we don't eat those by mistake. And then we need to transform into a ninja monkey, which is this one up here. And then what we have to do is basically do 1 lap of this agility course, because halfway up there's a special hole that we can go inside and pick some special nuts. Guys, leave a like on the video if you're interested in picking special nuts. Delete that bit. So like I say, there is actually a fairy ring up here at the very top of this course. So what we should be able to do actually is just make sure that this fairy ring is working for us. So if we just use it, teleport anywhere. It's good to type in all the codes once, CLR, then it'll be added to our list when we search for Apatol in future, so that's nice. The only issue is we probably can't actually use this fairy ring, because unless we keep the Ninja Monkey Gree on us, we can't actually go anywhere without the Ninja Monkey Gree. So yeah, we just continue the agility course here. And then instead of continuing down the rope, we go down this special hole for the quest. Just grab 2 of these special nuts. So we crush both of those into dust, use our knife on the bananas, then we right click use the paste on the snake, and then we have 2 completed snakes. Just for the sake of it, just in case, I'll grab 1 more nut because we are here and we do have the invent space. And also we'll just complete the lap, because why not, you know, it's a tiny bit of agility XP. As you can see, we also completed a hard task in the Western Diary just for doing that monkey lap, so that's cool as well. So we'll go back down into the fiery pits where the zombie monkeys live. Luckily you can transform at will and none of the monkeys find that suspicious, so we'll just turn into the zombie monkey now. And then down there there's a special kind of flaming rock that we're going to use as our oven that we need to cook this snake on. Now normally you wouldn't be able to pass this lava, that's why we need the Gree. If you walked here without the zombie monkey Gree, there's no way you'd get over that. So if we use the snake, please don't burn both these. Please, there we go, we cooked it to perfection. See, there we go, we burnt the second one, so it can happen. What we'll do, making sure we have an invent space free for when the Kramja Gree unequips. There we go, see? Run over to Lumbridge. And then we head back inside the castle and we can feed the king this snake. Now we have to be very careful not to eat the snake here, or we'll have to do all this again. Wow, roasted snake, my favourite. Yada yada yada, we have to go through this dialogue because it does unlock the teleport to Apatol spell. So the king basically wakes up and teaches it you. More cutscene, and there we go, a quest point, 10,000 cooking, 10,000 agility, the Apatol teleport spell, and increased access to the RFD chest. 1 RFD member left, which is Sir Amic Vars. Like I say, we need Legends quest for this, so we can't do that yet. Really nice to have that quest out of the way, because now we can drop all our monkey-related items, the amulet and all 4 Gree, so that'll free up 5 invent spaces, so that's really good. So the rune gloves are 6,500 coins, as opposed to the 3k of the Addy gloves. As you can see, it's an additional +1 in absolutely everything, except mage, because mage follows its own rules. But this is 1 more strength, 1 more accuracy, and 1 more defense in everything for all styles. Equip our skim if we want to, keep the prayer pot because everyone loves prayer pots, and then as far as I'm aware everything else here can go. Which it does feel like such a shame to get rid of all these Gree so quickly after we made them, but that's just how it goes when you're playing a UIM. I don't even know if a normal UIM could possibly store those anywhere, so they would also probably have to ditch them here. So with Monkey Madness 1 and the RFD subquest following it both completed, I think the next thing to do will probably be go and get our Defender from the Warriors Guild. Then we can have some actual proper melee stats on the account. We'll find ourselves a nice set of rune armor or something, and then we'll probably go get stuck into some Slayer. So I'll see you in the next clip. Just doing a birdhouse, just got ourselves 64 hunters, so 6 more levels left for 70 for the Questscape level, so that's really good. Hey guys, just planting some trees here since our last few birdhouse runs. And with this tree we hit 57 farming, which is a really nice level. It means we can now grow any papaya seeds we get without the garden pie boost going forward, which is really nice. Obviously those are the trees which only need pineapples to be paid to protect them, and obviously we can buy those from the charter ship guys. So not only are they huge XP when you grow a papaya tree, but they're also very easy to pay and protect, so really, really good. Okay guys, it's once again easy clue time. Got this from a crab on Fossil Island just while I was chilling. Let's have a look. Wow. Hey guys, excuse the gorilla footage, I just had to really quickly hop on because I randomly found this crash star while doing some tree runs. Here we are in Catherby. Didn't use a CC for this or anything or scout it, it was just here when I walked past, so since we already had our pickaxe with us, then I started just mining it, so we'll see what we get out of this. If we get 150 dust from doing this, we can get like a soft clay pack or something, which would be nice. Even if we don't get anything, it's some nice chill mining XP just while walking around, so cool. Right, so next on the agenda was to get our Dragon Defender. As you probably know, this is an offhand item that requires 60 attack and 60 defense, and it has a bunch of melee stat bonuses including strength and accuracy, so super good to have, gonna help our Slayer a whole bunch. In order to get your Defender, you have to do some Warriors Guild Cyclopses, and in order to fight these, you need some Warriors Guild tokens. Now, the easiest way to get these tokens is to reanimate sets of armor, and then kill them and they drop tokens. So what we did is I just ran around, went to 3 different shops, grabbed a full set of adamant armor, got the legs in Al-Qarid, got the body from the Champions Guild, and got the helmet from Barb Village, and then just headed over to Berthorpe for our little Defender grind. So when fighting these Cyclopses inside the Warriors Guild, they basically have a 1 in 50 chance to drop the next Defender that you need. You have to earn all 8 Defenders in order from Bronze through to Dragon. The Dragon Defender is a 1 in 100 drop from slightly higher leveled Cyclopses downstairs, but the other 7 are 1 in 50 each, so in theory it should take you about 450 Cyclopses to get every Defender. It's not the worst place to go dry, however, as these guys drop big bones, which are decent for prayer XP, they drop a few seeds, and they drop some low-level alkables, so you do end up making a little bit of cash while you're here. You can only damage these with melee, as this is the Warriors Guild, so other styles are not allowed. And you also need 10 Warriors Guild tokens for each minute you spend fighting the Cyclopses. The prayer XP from the big bones here was kind of helpful because I still needed about 4,000 just so I could push our prayer above our Herblore, so Tears of Guthix this week would once again go into our Herblore XP. I started out by getting our Bronze Defender quite early at 28 kills, which was kind of nice. Again, these are 1 in 50 drops, so about half the drop rate here. My trips weren't super long. Whenever I ran out of prayer, I'd usually just stick around for as long as possible, and then eventually just tally out to Ardi Monastery, get prayer back, and just buy some more food downstairs for the next trip. Every time I ran out of tokens, I would once again reanimate our adamant armor downstairs, just to get some more tokens, and then get back into the fight. Defender number 2 came at 17 kills, so even quicker. I was really looking forward to doing this grind on this account, because I thought our RNG was really good at this stage. The first 2, super quick. Along the way, got ourselves 70 attack, which was really nice. Obviously, we want those base 70s for Barrow's gear, so I just swapped over to training strength from here on out. Steel Defender took 60 KC this one, so a bit over the 1 in 50. Not terribly dry. Next up, the Black Defender was only 21 kills, so again, super quick. Really happy with these drop rates so far. Next up was the Mithril Defender, and I got this one in a record 12 KC, which was really nice. And after Mithril, the Adamant Defender came in at 9 KC, so I was actually doing really well on these Cyclopses. I only gone dry for 1 of them thus far, the rest of them super low kill counts, that's really nice. From burying these bones, I did actually manage to surpass 45 prayer, which is cool. That's Mystic Might, which is a mage boosting prayer that we'll probably never use, because the mage prayers are all terrible, even the very top one. Just taking a quick break here, I got a Haralander from a Cyclops, so I had to leave to resupply anyway, so I just nipped to the Desert Goats near Narda, just to kill one of them for some Desert Goat Horn and turn this into a combat potion with the Haralander, but I just wanted to make this because it is a Desert Diary task, so while I remembered and we had the herb on us, I went to do that. So from 9 KC for our Adamant Defender, I came back and it took us 81 kills to get our Rune Defender, which was kind of painful. I think I'm still technically under drop rate overall if you average them all out, but that one did take quite a while. Next up, we'll be heading into the basement of the Warriors Guild to fight the tougher Cyclopses for the Dragon Defender drop. Once again, this is 1 in 100 instead of 1 in 50, so twice as rare. Hopefully we don't go too dry on this one. The upside is, however, these guys do have better alchable drops, so we do make a few more coins in the meantime. After 76 kills downstairs on the tougher Cyclopses, I actually got a Chaos Talisman drop, and upon looking this up, it's either 1 in 1800 or 1 in 2000. Kinda hurts to see something that rare when you're going for something vastly more common. Even though that sucks to see, we did pull a Ranar seed straight after to balance our lookouts, so that was kinda nice. Always nice to have those planted, just so we can go harvest some prayer pots whenever we need to do content. And not long after the Ranar seed, we also pulled a Rune Full Helm, which is a decent drop from here. It'll do us nicely until we get our Helm of Netters Not later from the Fremenic Isles quest. Okay guys, hello, it's a new day. Didn't quite get the Dragon Defender yesterday. Spent all day, only ended up with Rune, but that's okay. That does mean that we got enough prayer XP from burying the big bones to push our prayer up above the Herblore, so now our Herblore is once again our lowest skill. As ever, Herblore is probably going to be the hardest thing to get up to 70, And we need all those nice 70s for our Questscape. Okay, cool, there we go. And 7,700 Herblore XP, so maybe not as much as I'd perhaps hoped, but that's okay. Level 46 in Herblore, absolutely no unlocks it seems. Just before heading back for our defender, I'm just going to plant some trees, because we do want to clear up our invent a little, and I just did a birdhouse run and got even more, so we need to get rid of these seeds. Got a pretty godly seed roll though. I got a Celastrus, which we can't plant till like 90 farming or something crazy, but we did get 2 papayas, which is awesome. And also obviously we protect these with 10 pineapples. So what I'm doing is I'm just here in Brimhaven, I'm using the trader crew members to just buy pineapples, run over to this little tool leprechaun here and just note them. So I'm just going to make 3 trips just till I get 20, so I've got enough to pay to protect both these papayas. Absolutely going to give us like a level or 2 for both of those. That's really, really nice. Love to see a papaya. And then yeah, we'll have a little bit more space for like cheese potatoes when we're back in the Warriors Guild and we go for our defender. Hey guys, still at Cyclops as you can see here. Been here about 2 hours now today. Still no luck. This KC will be 202. The drop rate of the defender should be 1 in 100, so we should have seen 1 or 2 by now, but well, what can you do? On the bright side, however, we're just about to get 70 defense. There it is, perfectly timed. So our journey to base 70 melees is coming along nicely. So hopefully the Dragon Defender comes soon. I'm going to once again have to leave and buy more alks. We used a few hundred so far on this grind. Thus far it's been about 8.5 hours of doing defenders. We still have our rune one, but as far as I'm aware, once you have the rune one and you unlock the Dragon Defender room, we no longer need to go back and get rune if we ever lose our defender. We can just get more tokens by fighting the animated armor and then just come straight downstairs and fight the Dragon Defender one, so that's good. Hey guys, another birdhouse run down. Just got ourselves 65 hunters, so 5 left for Questscape. Anyway, back to the defender grind. Oh boy, a curved bone. At this point I've done 353, this guy here is going to be 354. I figure if I record it, it'll be a lucky drop, so let's find out. Nothing. Guys, we got it! Unbelievable. A Dragon Defender. This took like 12.5 hours over 2 days. I mean, obviously I was doing birdhouses and a few farm runs in between, so it wasn't obviously solely that. But I did get like 4,800 tokens, so that's like 8 hours or whatever of solid time inside the Cyclops rooms. So that's crazy. We got quite a few alkables. We got back up to over 1 mil. I think we made about 300k doing this. Also, if we take a look at our combat stats, we got 70 in attack, 70 in health, 70 in defense, and partway through 68 in strength. So we actually got a ton of combat stats as well as like a full prayer level. So yeah, we got quite a lot from this grind, but it took so long. That's crazy. Hey guys, just wasting these black knives we got from the Cyclopses. We got like 450 or something, so I'm just throwing them at crabs while I'm here anyway to do a birdhouse run. Just about to get ourselves 61 range here, which is really, really nice. Huge level for the account. 61 range obviously is when we can use the rune crossbow. As soon as we're able to acquire one. What I'm planning to do is find 69 fletching somewhere, and then we'll just go kill the deranged archaeologist a few times for the unstrung rune crossbow, and then just chuck a string on it, and then we'll have one. And then a bit later down the line, once we've done a little bit more Slayer, we'll get access to broader fletching, and we'll get ourselves broad bolts for a nice consistent source of bolts, outside of smithing them with bars. So that'll be really good when we actually get around to doing some range. Oi oi gamers, just doing a cheeky bit of Slayer now. We've got this defender. I was going to go get my netters knot today, but the defender grind took so much of my day that I don't really have the energy to do the quest tonight, so I'll do it tomorrow. Just for now, we're going to do this random task we've got. We've got a Konar task for Dagonoths in the lighthouse, which is where we are. It's going quite well. They don't hit on us too much because we have effectively Addy armor and a nice rune helm, so we've got some nice defenses, and obviously we've lost aggro here, so they're not all piling on us, so that's nice. As you can see, we've got a bunch of decent seeds, some Irrits, an Avanto, and a Qualm seed, so they'll be nice to plant some juicy little herbs. And also, while here, we got 47 Slayer, which is the level for Brine Rats. So the Slayer's slowly creeping up. It's nice to keep it above the herb lore, as we say, because we want herb lore to be lowest for Tears of Gothics every week. Hey you guys, just a cheeky little bit of herb lore here. What I'm going to do is attempt to unnote things. As you can see, we've actually got 24 Ranors, which is massive. We've been kind of growing those in about 4 or 5 patches, so that's nice. And once these are all created, then I'll think about making up all these prayer pots, and then I'll head over to the Grand Exchange and actually use the Decanter NPC, because the guy that decants potions actually hands them back noted. Found out, by the way, that the Lighthouse General Store is really, really good for herb lore. I've been looking for a good place to go whenever we need the herblore tools, and the lighthouse guy from Horror from the Deep sells noted vials of water, and he also sells the pestle and mortar that we need for a lot of secondaries to crush them. So that's going to be our port of call anytime we need to do herblore, because it is also really close to a fairy ring, so it's kind of accessible, so that's nice as well. So yeah, in between doing Slayer tasks, I went and harvested all the ranors that we had planted around the game, and I just carried them around noted, then went to the Lighthouse General Store, got some of those noted vials of water, and then I also headed over to the Hobgoblin Peninsula we've used so many times over at the Crafting Guild, picked up a whole bunch of snapegrass, then just ran down to the bush patch to note them on the NPC down there, the Tool Leprechaun. So at that point we had noted ranors, we had noted vials, and we had noted snapegrass, so I just used the bank here at the Grand Exchange just to unnote a couple of each at a time, combine the potions and the ranors, and then pop the snapegrass in, and then as long as you have noted empty vials, which you can also buy from the Lighthouse General Store, you can use this decanting guy, and eventually he returns them to you in like a nice juicy stack. Just did that and ended up with a healthy little stack of noted prayer pots that we can just unnote at any bank that we pass, and it should make our combat a little bit easier. And there we go, base 70 melees including hit points. Super happy with this one, as we can now wear all the melee barrow sets when we eventually get to doing some barrows in a bit. Lovely stuff. Okay guys, here we are from Fossil Island Crabs. Just got a couple of fossils. I did an hour and a bit last night of strength, as you saw. Got ourselves those base 70 melees, so that's really nice. Right now we'll just come straight here, clean these fossils and see which ones we're actually able to put downstairs, because every time I seem to test this, it seems to be completely different, whether it allows me to put small ones in one at a time or not, or whether it allows me to put bigger ones in one at a time or not. Obviously, again, we're not using the fossil storage system, so if we can find a place for these 5, then we'll find a place for them. If we can't, then we'll drop them on the floor and go to something else. I've got this easy clue here, which is at the Barbarian Village, so we're going to head there next. Got that from Crabs also, so that's cool. So I think the best thing to do is just have a look and see if we've got any displays on the go. No, missing large limbs. I feel like there must be something to this, like the fact we're not storing them. It's not giving us the ones we need in order, perhaps? I genuinely, guys, I don't know. If I check every one and it still doesn't go in, then I officially don't understand how this works. I think what it is if you clean 5 at a time, it always gives you 5 different ones, but if you clean 1 at a time or something, then it's not going to give you different ones. So it seems like we're getting dupes we can't use. Also, just on a side note, I really don't like how this floor is just a copy-paste of the floor upstairs. It looks really weird when you just come down the ladder and you're in the same place. I don't know if anyone else has thought that before, but... Okay, well, once again, these are 3 wasted fossils. They don't go anywhere in the museum, so, I guess we're just leaving these here, sadly. It's a real shame, because, you know, could be nice progress towards some medium XP lamps, but... Right, guys, quick, easy casket over on Intrana, because my stuff's on the floor. Let's go. Jesus, man. Hey guys, back again, another easy clue. Got this one from Birdhouse Nest. Actually had an equipment clue step for this one, the one up near Keep Lafay, near Camelot. But actually all 3 pieces of equipment could be bought just in Varrock, in some shops near each other, so I actually decided to do it instead of dropping it like I normally do with clue equipment steps. Here we go. Nothing! Alright guys, just back on my Slayer task, 5 more Dagonoths left to kill down here in the lighthouse. Just interesting point, with the Arceus spellbook rework, they changed the magic level you need for a bunch of the ensouled heads. It used to be that every ensouled head had its own reanimation spell, but now there's something like 5, and all the ensouled heads are just like in one of like the 4 or 5 different spells, like categorized. Which means that a bunch of the early med-level reanimation spells actually have a really high magic level. Like a Dagonoth head to reanimate is 72 mage, which is crazy. I mean, technically we could do it with 69 plus 3 with that beer we've been using the whole game, but it just seems like a really high level for such a low level monster, I don't know. Seems like they kind of tuned that a little bit weirdly, but they did add a bunch of very, let's say, useful spells to that spellbook that they obviously needed the space for, so I kind of understand why they did it, but if they didn't, then we'd have, I don't know, a few thousand prayer XP from this task that I could have picked up. Anyway, task nearly complete. From this task we got 2 brimstone keys, which is kind of nice. I feel like if we open our keys it'll take more inventory space than if we just leave our keys stacked until we decide to open them all at once, because we are going to go do more tasks right now. So instead of actually doing any quests, I just procrastinated for a little bit and just did some Slayer tasks. Did a couple of choice tasks like brine rats, fire giants, things like that. Did do a couple of ensouled heads along the way from like giant tasks and things, the low level ones that we were actually able to do, just for the little bit of prayer XP. Hey guys, back at Fire Giants, it's going quite well. Pulled a rune skim. Of course you always get one when you don't need one. I remember we went so dry for our first one back at ZMI, but that's fine, we can alch this. What we did just get, however, which is the reason I'm recording, is we got ourselves a loop half. I've been set on this tooth half for about 2 days, because we picked that up doing something, I can't remember. But now we have our first crystal key, which is crazy. So with this crystal key we can head to Taverley, open the crystal chest, and we'll get a bunch of garbage, but we'll be guaranteed 1 dragonstone. And with our crafting level being over 55, we can go make that dragonstone into a ring of wealth, and probably enchant it as well. So we can make ourselves a ring of wealth, which we can equip when doing combat, and it'll give us much better rare drop table rolls just while killing things. So it will mean having the ring of the elements just in our invent somewhere, but I guess we'll have to make room, because I think that's worth it. Maybe we'll get rubies out of there or something for our dig site pendant, handing them in at the museum. Okay, so I came back without making the crystal key, because honestly I just forgot after buying more food. But I've only been here a little bit, and I got 2 more halves and made an entire new crystal key. And a genie! Dude, this is the best task ever! So yeah, we'll go crack 2 crystal keys when I remember to do them, so awesome. Let's see what we get. Oh, rubies, no way! Unironically super happy with rubies. We'll just head to Falador. I want to claim these Stardust shards for some gem packs, because we want to get rid of this inventory space of Stardust from the other day, because I'm not actively hunting stars. I haven't yet built a telescope. I just happened to find 2 stars literally while walking past them. I think I pointed out previously in an episode that the crafting requirement for a Ring of Wealth is way lower than the other Dragonstone jewellery. So you can make it super early, which is nice. As you can see here, it's 55, the same level as to be able to actually cut the Dragonstone. But for any further jewellery, it's 72 plus, 74 and 80. I mean, we could make like a second Ring of Wealth and alch it, perhaps. That's probably the best way. Anyway, I think this is the guy. So in his shop he has this ring with an invisible mining boost, he has this star fragment which you use to colour a piece of the mining outfit, which is worthless to us, he has a pack of soft clay, which is kind of decent, and he has these Stardust packs. So I think what we can do is actually buy 2, and then we can buy 1 soft clay pack with the rest, which is decent. Okay, whatever, let's open the gem bags. Okay, so we got 9 rubies, that's really nice. Right, here we go, rubies out the way first, so we'll talk to good old Haig. Take them all, mate. 226 left, so we're 24 down out of the 250, so almost 10% done with our mounted dig site pendant, which is going to be really, really good. Obviously, once we get the mounted dig site pendant, we can teleport to Fossil Island directly from our house, like I've said before, but also it's 1 less reason to hang on to this Ring of the Elements, so we might be able to free up an invent space from that, so that's awesome. Right guys, we've got our Ring of Wealth in the bag. Alch the other 2 Dragonstone rings, like I said. Got a whole bunch of stupid runes and other garbage on us. What I'm just going to do, make use of the 100 soft clay we got from our Stardust packs. Same way as before, I've bought a couple of runes for some house tellies, so we've moved our house to files, cost 5k to do, but it's definitely worth it to craft some house tabs. And then we'll just make, I guess, 93 house tabs, because I didn't quite bring 100 laws, but that's okay, I'll just drop the other 9 soft clay or whatever's left. Alright guys, just doing some tutorial skipping. I swear this monkey task is probably the worst one you can get. 43 monkeys, and there's like 3 in this pen, and you have to like run around the whole thing to get line of sight to kill them. It's terrible, it takes longer than like some real tasks. Could have just done a Konar task in this time. Hey, here we are at the Brimstone chest, we got 4 keys to open. Let's see if we get anything nice. 3 Torstal seeds, let's have a look what level they are, hopefully we can actually plant them and they're not just going to a general store. Wow, 85 farming, there's no way we can hang on to those for 26 farming levels, so they'll be being dropped, that's a real shame. 3 rune full helms? You know, that's not bad, what's that, 60k alch, something like that? 3 palm tree seeds, dude, like, there's no way. And then 1 redwood, which is, by the way, like 90 farming, so that's another one. That's terrible, 3 out of 4 are high level seeds. But yeah, for 4 keys, literally all we got was 60k in cash. I mean, you know, 60k, it's nice to have, but I am pretty disappointed in that one. Just running around, planning what seeds we had to clear our inventory out. Just check this maple tree here in Lumbridge, and we got ourselves 60 farming off that one, so if we take a look what we've unlocked here, I think we've just unlocked regular yew trees, which is kind of nice. I don't think I've seen a yew seed yet, Maybe I saw like one ages ago and dropped it because we couldn't use it, but if we find one, then now we're able to plant them, so that is kind of nice. Only 10 levels more for the quest cape requirement of 70, I think, for Song of the Elves, but there are a bunch of actual good farming unlocks still left. 5 more levels and we can get into the middle tier of the farming guild, which means we can fight the Hespori boss for some nice farming XP each kill, and we also get access to another, I think it's a regular tree patch and a herb patch, so that'll be nice, and that is actually boostable, so if we can get to 62 we can technically go buy the garden pie from the chef's guild and then sneak our way into the middle of the guild, so that's cool. Alright guys, here we are in Relica with an inventory full of absolute garbage. Supposedly some or all of these items are things we'll need for the quest, the Fremenic Isles, that we're going to do to get ourselves the Helm of Netisnot, so that's cool. So what we do is we start off by talking to these two feuding dudes, one of which can sail us over to Netisnot, and the other can sail us over to Yartis Ho, which are 2 islands in the Fremenic province that are kind of at war with each other. So what we're going to do is go kind of quell the war, I guess, and then help them with an ice troll problem. It's been a little while since I've done this quest, but I'm fairly confident that it's not very hard. Maybe the combat at the end is quite difficult, but with our stats now, we've got 70 melees, we've got our D-skim, we've got our defender, and we've got protection prayers, so we should be okay. What we do need to do during this quest, however, is to create ourselves a set of yak hide armor, and also a Netisnot shield or an Arctic pine shield or something, and the armor and the shield together, they have a special effect where they reduce damage from the ice trolls on these islands, so you basically need to wear them during this quest, just so we don't die while running to the troll boss at the very end. Apparently also during this quest we need 6 mithril ore at some point, which will be interesting because I don't have any mithril ore and I don't even have a pickaxe on us, so we may need to leave to do the mithril ore step whenever that comes up, but that's okay. Okay, this is the mithril ore step. There is an ore shop, so I'm gonna just check. No. Okay guys, we're back. As you can see, we've got our myth ore. As you can see on screen here, and what I did is I just minigame telly over to the blast furnace in Keldagrim and just bought the myth ore from the shop there, as it has a really big stock, so that was cool. Didn't have to mess about buying a pickaxe or spending ages mining. So straight back into the quest. What we do is we talk to the king of one of the 2 islands. We basically act as his spy, and we go over to the other island in a disguise. So we're going to have to unequip our armor, which is not going to fit in our invent, so we'll see how that works. We have to go spy, and we have to hop between the islands, doing tasks for both the kings, acting as kind of a double agent for both of them, to get on their good side. And then at the very end, we unite the tribes and we take out the ice troll menace in the north. Kill the Ice Troll King, and then as our reward for doing all that, we get ourselves the Helm of Netisnot, as well as some random XP. With our new Jester disguise, we're going to head over to the other island now, and we're looking appropriately like a clown, because that's basically what this account is. So we have a chat with our little agent here called Slughemligsusun, and then what we have to do is we have to pretend to be the court jester for the other king here on this side, and while we're performing we listen to his guards talk about the things that they're planning to do. So we need to do this entertaining minigame for the king, just doing whatever it is he asks for here at the bottom, so we have to kind of pay attention, do the emotes that he asks for. And then in the meantime, his 2 guards will talk about matters of the kingdom, plans, military plans, things like that, that we also have to overhear and then report back to our spy master afterwards. Now obviously without Quest Helper this is kind of difficult because you do actually have to pay attention to what both of them say, while also listening to this guy and responding to what he wants us to perform. But obviously with Quest Helper all we do is we just watch him do the things he says, and then Quest Helper afterwards will tell us what was said during this cutscene so we don't have to remember. Also during this quest we get a whole bunch of random coin rewards incrementally, which is kind of nice, because we do always need coins. So now what we do is we unequip our jester outfit, and then we go back and talk to the king and he doesn't know who we are. So now what we do is we offer our help to this king, kind of as our double agent play. It says we need to bring him 8 split logs, 8 rope, and a knife. It's kind of a big ask, dude, to be honest. Like, we're going to have to start juggling things if we do in fact need to turn in 16 things at once. So I basically need 17 spaces. The knife is one of them. 8 rope? He doesn't need the 9th rope, so we can drop 1 rope. There we go. So if we get that many logs, split them, hopefully we can just really quickly go turn all these in. Okay dude, here are your logs and your ropes, please take them off me. No? Oh, that sucks. Okay, I'll just really quickly drop some of these, just in order to juggle the stuff that we've already got on the ground, because it is about to time out. And then I'll just drop all this a little bit closer to the gate, grab our logs back, That's one bridge in pretty quick time, so I'm hoping we can just run back and grab our stuff. Now these ice trolls do actually have some decent drops if you do get a troll slayer task. A few nice alkables, granite shields, things like that. And also it's very similar to the lizard men where they fight against other NPCs. So if we come down with a range or mage weapon and just shoot them from far away, get one hit on them and then the NPCs finish them off, then we are granted the kill and the loot. So that might be an option if we need some money. Maybe it's a good thing to kill for alkables later after this quest, we'll see. So after fixing the bridges over on Netisnot, we report back once again to the King of Jatizo to tell him just what's been going on over here, and then we help him by going around his island just collecting a bunch of tax. Not really very interesting. Once again we head back to Netisnot, spy on the King as the Jester, and then finally we go back to the King of Jatizo again, tell him about this, all the things we've learned as the Jester, and then finally we get his royal decree, and I think this is the last time we see this king during the quest. We head back over to Netisnot, and then we're ordered to kill the King of the Ice Trolls up north, but of course first we need the relevant protective gear. So we have to go kill some yaks, get some tanned yak hide leather, a needle and thread, turn this into the yak hide armour, top and bottoms, and then after this we just get some of these arctic pine logs, chop them on this stump here in Netisnot, and then we turn that into the arctic shield or whatever it was called. So now we're fully ready and fully protected from the ice trolls, so I just quickly tallied out, went back to the Warriors Guild, grabbed some supplies, and unnoted some of our prayer pots in our invent. Okay guys, here we are, back on Netisnot, looking stacked out. As you can see, we've got an invent full of potatoes, and we got ourselves one prayer potion. We are currently potted up with the regular combat potions available from the Warriors Guild. I just took a sip at the shop and then dropped them and filled the invent space with more potatoes, so hopefully that's the most sensible way to do this. I also walked all the way back just to keep enough run energy to run past these trolls when we need it. So let's see how this goes. For those not in the know, what you need to do during this quest is you need to go inside a troll cave up here at the very top. Here's the map of both islands we've been messing about on, and here's the dungeon at the top right. And what you need to do in there is fight waves of trolls until you're allowed to fight the Troll King. So it's not just a simple boss fight where we fight one NPC. So this guy says I need to kill 10 trolls, so I assume that's accurate. Again, there are some trolls that do fight with NPCs, so maybe we can just tag the ones that are low on health, like I see this guy right here. If we beeline for him, hopefully, oh, there's 2. But yeah, I just need to make sure that we've had a hit before they die, then the kill will count towards our 10, and then we can go face the boss and finish this quest. Okay, so that's the trolls. I think this guy here gives us some supplies if we ask him politely. However, we are now in combat, so it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to claim these supplies, which is a shame because, as far as I remember, it does include prayer pots. Now, I'm not entirely sure if we need to keep our yak hide armour on for the Troll King himself. I know you're not supposed to protect melee in here because if you do, he does a special attack on you. What we'll do is we'll put our best combat prayers on, we'll chug some prayer pots, and we'll just hope that the gods of RNG give us enough power to hit him down. So far, 4 nice back-to-back hits. He is down to 50 health, and protecting from his magic seems to be doing quite a lot, so I think we got this in the bag. I've definitely done this quest before on a woefully underprepared account with much worse stats and no protection prayers, and it's a lot harder. So I'm glad we left this till now, because the last thing you want to do is have to come all the way back to Relica to pick up your death pile. Especially if we no longer had access to our anti-troll items in order to run past the trolls and get here. That would be a real pain. So what we do is we take the head from the king. I've returned victorious. Hopefully the islands are now friends with each other. Oh, we get to put 10,000 XP into something. Honestly, doesn't matter. I guess I'll do hit points just because it's the slowest one to level. Oh, we get it twice. Wow. And we also got ourselves some XP bonuses. Let's have a look. We got ourselves 10k woodcutting, 5,000 crafting, and 5,000 construction, which isn't too bad. 10k woodcutting is closer towards 75 to those nice magic trees that we're probably going to unlock one day. Very nearly hit 61 crafting from doing this, so that's awesome. But the main thing, we got ourselves the Helm of Netisnot, which we came here for. As you can see, it's better in almost every way. It just has slightly less slash defense, which doesn't really matter. It has no negatives in magic or range, so we can wear it for every style. We don't have to take it off if we're casting spells or shooting arrows. It also is lighter than a rune full helm. It has 3 more prayer and 3 more melee strength. So it's actually an insane helmet. Plus it just looks so iconic, doesn't it? Let's be honest. So with this, we'll be able to alch this rune helm for another 20k. And yeah, look at us. We've got some actual decent combat stuff now. I'd say this is a mid-game player. I don't know about you. I'm not even sure what our next upgrade will be. Most likely some Barrows pieces. But I think we are looking absolutely henge, so that's really, really good. So the next thing I did now that we had some actual combat gear was complete the Rum Deal quest over in Mauritania. Basically, this is a quest that awards 7,000 prayer XP, and it's relatively easy, so I thought we'd be able to just go knock that out now that we had the Slayer level to kill the Fever Spiders during the quest. Rum Deal is also a prerequisite to the Cabin Fever quest. Cabin Fever later down the line will unlock the island of Mostly Harmless, a pirate hideout, which is home to a cave full of cave horrors, and they drop the Black Mask, which is the primary component of the Slayer helm, which we'll definitely need as soon as possible. So getting this quest out of the way now made a lot of sense. Basically outside there are some zombie protesters, as you can see here. There are also some farming patches. So what we do is we get ourselves some special hop seeds or something once again, and we just plant those and we wait a tiny bit of real time just for those to grow. What we can do while that's happening is just kill zombies or something just for some combat XP, or maybe fish at the spots next to there. So our blind weed is grown, we can go back, pop this in the vat or whatever it is, and we can get started making some zombie rum. Next thing is we need to go get some special water from the north of the island. Which does mean hopping over this bridge here that's guarded by, what's he called, 2/3 Louis or something? Something like that, 2/3 Luke. So we basically just say, hey, look behind you, and we just go straight past him. Oh, 50% Luke. Okay, I was close. Hey, look over there, and then we just pass the bridge. Wow, what a great guard. So all we do is we go all the way to the north here, we climb up this random mountain. There we go, some delicious stagnant lake juice. Run back to the brewery, add that to our hopper. We need some sluglings, which we can do at the fishing spots over near where we grew the hops at the very start of the quest, so that's cool. Kind of interesting that this quest has a unique fishing animation. I don't know. So here are 5 slugs, let's go chuck them in the juice. So what happens is we put enough disgusting stuff into this rum that it becomes such an unholy combination, and the machine actually gets a life of its own. It always vibrates like crazy. So what we do is we talk to the captain about what to do next, and he's like, oh, there's probably a ghost in the machine or something if you have a look. So what we should get is the holy wrench here, which we can use to kind of exercise the brewing vat and allow us to collect our delicious rum. So we just go next door to this random pirate who I guess is also a priest or something, and he blesses this wrench. Okay, then with the holy wrench in hand we go to the machine, we use it on the brewing control, which is going absolutely wild in the middle of the room over here, and then hopefully a ghost will come out and we can kill it with our D-skim. So what is this thing supposed to be? It kind of does just look like a slug, doesn't it? So maybe it is the ghost of one of the slugs we put inside, combined with the ghost of murky water. Not sure where the hops come in, but interestingly this quest requires 47 prayer, which is exactly what we have, so that's good. Not sure why it said we need 47 prayer to kill that thing, but we managed it. So let's talk to the captain again, see what's next. What we need next is the corpse of a spider from underneath the brewing control unit, so we'll go down with our fever gloves on, kill one of these fever spiders. The Slayer gloves will just protect us from getting diseased while fighting these guys. You can actually receive these as a Slayer task if you're incredibly unlucky. But yeah, if you do get given a fever spider task, then they have a 1 in 12 chance of dropping a grimy qualm, and literally nothing else. You just get a fever spider body every time, which as far as I'm aware does nothing outside the quest. So really probably one of the worst Slayer tasks you can do if you're looking for any kind of loot. As if this slop wasn't disgusting enough, we're going to chuck this dead spider into the mix. As far as I'm aware, that's the final step. So all we should have to do now is head downstairs, collect our rum from the machine, and then give it to the protesting zombies outside to quell their little protest, and that should be quest complete. We should be given a nice little chunk of XP, and the ability to do further pirate questline quests. So there we go, a nice bucket full of what they call unsanitary swill, which sounds absolutely disgusting, but it's not for us, it's for a pirate. So let's talk to Captain Donny, leader of this little rebellion outside, and say, hey dude, you can stop this now, we've got your rum. We've quelled the rebellion. We talk to the captain and say, dude, we've done what you asked, give me my rewards. And there are said rewards: 7,000 prayer XP, 7,000 farming XP, 7k fishing, and a holy wrench. Not as good. But the prayer XP almost got us another full prayer level, so that's cool. Only 282 XP from 48. Obviously it will unlock access to Cabin Fever a little bit later. Cool little quest to get done. Okay guys, I'm in the neighbourhood of Scorpion Catcher, so I'm gonna go catch some scorpions. It's a fairly simple quest. We just go around the map to 3 places with a cage and we pop some scorpions inside and that's it. You get like 6k strength XP for doing this, so the reward's not even good. But I'm just gonna do it because, like I say, I'm here and it's relatively quick and easy. The only one of these scorpions that's actually any difficult is the one that's at the end of Taverley Dungeon, but since we have more than 70 agility, you can just skip over past the blue dragons and just go to the end and grab the scorpion. And then another one is inside the Barbarian Agility course, which you need to do the bar crawl mini quest to access, which we have already done. So yeah, it's going to be quite easy to grab these three, so I'll just grab them and then yeah, see you at the end. Right guys, back at the tower with a cage full of scorpions. As you can see, it only took us like 8 or 9 minutes to do that. I think with stamina potions, 80 agility and all the relevant teleports on you, you could do this quest in honestly 2-3 minutes. It's absolutely just a nothing quest. You just get the ability to make mystic battle staffs at this guy, which I don't think we'll ever do. They seem kind of worthless. But we do get 1 quest point, which is 1 more tick of Tears of Guthix each week, and 6,000 strength XP, which is not a lot, but it has pushed us slightly closer to 72, so that's decent. Right guys, and with those scorpions turned in, I'm going to call this episode over here, so real big thanks once again for tuning in. Just a quick recap of what we got done. We started with Monkey Madness, and then we went on to complete the RFD Monkey Madness mini quest, obviously getting 70 cooking to complete that. Got ourselves those rune gloves and that dragon scimitar. Then we went and got ourselves the Dragon Defender from the Warriors Guild, so we got a D-Skim and a D-Defender. Then we went and did Fremnik Isles, got ourselves the Helm of Netter's Knot, so we've got some really nice melee gear this episode. A few miscellaneous levels I didn't really cover too deeply because they weren't that important. 2 Herblore levels from a few Tears of Guthix and a little bit of potion making. Grabbed ourselves 4 farming levels with the ability to now plant yew trees. 3 hunter levels during the course of this, and a few other miscellaneous bits and bobs like rune crossbow level in range, couple of prayer levels, stuff like that. So I think next time we'll get really properly stuck into some real Slayer now. We're 50, it's kind of a good place to start, get our first real tasks like Bloodvelds, things like that. We'll crank out some Slayer points, get all the good unlocks like the Helm, the Fletching, the Superiors. Got to get that up to at least 69 for Monkey Madness too, but probably much higher, as I want to fight things like gargoyles and stuff just so we can train our smithing properly, and get the rest of our levels to Quest Cape level, and knock out that Quest Cape. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any feedback or comments, obviously the comment section is below. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to, and if you want to catch up on the series, there is a playlist on the channel, so I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Yeah, be good.